all you cool cats and kittens. Welcome to another episode of Robuilt. I'm your host, Rob Ert, and today I'm doing something a little bit different. I am vlogging. This is my first vlog ever, but I have it on high authority that all the kids out there are vlogging these days and really into that snackable content. Vlogging, short for video logging? No, video blogging. See, I'm 30 and I'm already losing track of all the cool kid terms. Obviously my channel is more of a DIY, how to build stuff channel, but I'm still figuring out my voice. So I figure why not give you a tour of some of the stuff that I've built in the past, starting with my tiny house here in Los Angeles. Now, I'm gonna step a little closer because I think I'm trying to give you a little bit of depth of feel here, but this is a 400 square foot accessory dwelling unit. You may also know it as an ADU. And basically, it's a glorified guest house. It's not a tiny house on wheels. It's not like on a trailer or anything like that. I specifically designed it like this for a specific reason. You could call it a guest house, but for me, I built it ergonomically to really represent what I think tiny houses and tiny spaces are all about. It's a 2-story house. It's a loft on the top, and then on the bottom, it's a living room, kitchen, and full bathroom. Took me about 7 months to permit here in Los Angeles and cost me about $72,000 to build. I was the owner builder on this specific house right here, and what that means is I'm the one that found my subs. I was basically acting as the general contractor. I hired a brother and a sister, and over the course of 6 months they basically built the entire structure, the box, all the way to the drywall. At about that point I ran out of money because it was my first really big project. So I finished the last 20% of the house. I stained kind of all the wood up here. I installed the doors. I stained the concrete. I installed the cabinets, the countertops, the laminate flooring. I did all the painting. Of course, I called in a lot of favors. I had to do some things I wasn't proud of to get those favors, but I'll leave that for another story. Another day. I basically did all the finish work, and that's kind of where I learned to, it's really where I kind of cut my teeth building stuff. I mean, I was pretty handy before this, but I'll tell you what, man, building a tiny house makes you a hell of a lot more handy. I did all the finish electrical in the house too, and I installed the cans, so I really learned a lot doing this. It kind of really inspired me to keep cranking these out. So I actually built another tiny house in Joshua Tree that I'm sure I'll do a video log. What am I even doing? A vlog of that at some point as well. And if you like it, if you like what I'm talking about here, be sure to like, subscribe, smash that subscribe. And I'll do more videos. I'll tell you a little bit more about my Airbnb business and how I make money off of this house specifically. Like I said, it cost me about $72,000, and I got a loan to finance this, and my loan is about $700 a month. And I rented it out for about a year and a half at $1,500 a month. To a really good friend, but I really expect that on a long-term basis I could probably rent it out for like $2,000. And I've had it on Airbnb for a couple months, and I was making anywhere from $2,500 to $3,500 a month on it. Well, I was going to, and then Corona happened. So now I'm actually renting it on Airbnb long-term to a travel nurse who's on the front line. I opened up my space to a lot of frontline workers and gave them a pretty hefty discount. I get to still kind of be able to pay my bills and serve the community in that way. So I decided to do this vlog before she comes, before I'm unable to really enter the premises, to avoid getting Corona. I'm gonna do a tour for you guys, but before I do, let's get to the very sexy slow-mo pans now. All right, so this is the bedroom. I think the bedroom is about 110 square feet maybe. It's a little smaller than your typical room, but I think it's, you know, for a tiny house, I think it's a little generous. It fits a full size perfectly. There's about a foot on the other side of the bed here, and then there's about a foot here between here and the dresser, and then we still were able to accommodate the really big TV. You know, living in LA, a room this size really isn't even that uncommon. So I kind of feel like, you know, given that it's such a tiny space, you do have to make sacrifices, but you don't have to make big sacrifices. My previous tenant that was living in here actually had a queen size bed. It did fit in here, definitely much cozier, but he made it work. So whether it's a full size or queen size, I still think that you definitely have enough living space to, I don't know, not pull your hair out. Although if you were under quarantine and you had to live in here for, you know, 24 hours a day for like 2 months, yeah, you might want to kill some people. Who doesn't? Yeah, super comfortable in here. Okay. All right, when I stage it, I stage it to be a little bit tighter and more, kind of pushed into the walls here. This table could move, about a foot that way. But overall, small living space as well, but you can definitely get a third person in here. If you wanted to get really creative with seating, you could move this table over to the middle and you could fit 4 people. I've had 4 people in here several times. It works. It's not necessarily ideal. You don't want 4 people sleeping in here. But from a social hour, it's actually kind of fun to figure out the functionality of this space and cram as many people as you can. Just kind of get creative with where you're sitting around and talking about stocks and sports. You know what I mean? I just noticed that a piece of furniture here was cracked by an Airbnb guest, so not ideal. Help me! Honestly, this probably fits for the normal person, but I've experienced the quarantine 15. All right, and then you got your kitchen. I splurged a little bit. I wanted to make this as full size as possible. Now, granted, it's not like a kitchen that you might find in a 2,000 square foot house, but for a 400 square foot house, I think I really kind of killed it. I mean, I've got an 18-inch countertop right here. I've got 20-something inches here, and then I've got plenty of room here on the back. For me, kitchen is kind of home, which I feel like I read that on one of those cheesy pictures in like TJ Maxx or Ross, but I'm serious. I mean, I think if you're in a small space, you're gonna be making sacrifices, but I didn't want to sacrifice on being able to cook any meal that you wanted. So I've got a full-size stove, full-size microwave, and for the most part, a full-size fridge. It's a little bit thinner, and it's a counter-depth fridge than what you might find in a normal kitchen, but honestly, from what it can actually hold, I mean, there's nothing in here now, but if you put stuff in there, it would hold a lot, just like a normal fridge. All right, get off my back. All right, we got our bathroom. Now, this is always really tough to shoot because it's such a small space, but it's a compact bathroom, but it's not so small that you wouldn't find this in a regular house as like a half bath. We've got our toilet, we've got a 24-inch IKEA vanity, and then we've got a full-size shower. I mean, I went with the herringbone wood tile in the back with kind of a marbled, Calcutta, brown and white Calcutta for the sides. But, you can stand in here and take a full shower. And again, you're not really hitting the walls or anything like this. This is a regular shower. So again, the thing about my tiny house in general is that it's small, but it does feel like an airy, 600 to 700 square feet, just because of the way that I designed the layout when I was kind of doing the whole design process for this. All right, it's my first vlog. What do you think? Pretty good? Should I keep doing these? If you like this, don't forget, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button if you'd like. If you didn't like it, hit the dislike button. But you know what? You stuck around to the end, so, if you hit the dislike button at this point, you're a dick. I mean, it's objective. Yeah, I'll do more of these if I get a decent response. Honestly, if I don't get a decent response, I'll still probably do more of these because content. But I can get more into the financials of this, more of the Airbnb financials, how much I actually make on this property and my other tiny house that I just built. But yeah, subscribe for more. Enjoy, and I'll see you on the next one.